Hey fam, hey folks, how you doing? Welcome to the No Pro Football Show. We're gonna get right into it today, but first I want to introduce you or let my special guests introduce themselves. We can start with Regina.
Hey everyone, it's Gina. Gina from the She Talks Football podcast. You can catch me on Twitter at She Talks Football. You can catch me on the Undroppables platform where my podcasts are uploaded, and also follow them on Twitter and YouTube. And then you can also catch my podcast on the She Talks Football podcast on YouTube and the audio versions on Apple, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, and wherever you may listen to your podcast. So I'm happy to be here.
All right, Jeremy.
Man, what's going on, y'all, man? It's your boy Jern, Scene representative, The Scene. Make sure you guys check us out. As you see on there, got the Twitter handle up, Scene_the. Make sure you check us out. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, whatever you need, we got you. Don't be scared to hit us up. Don't be scared to check us out. That being said, let's pass the rock.
I'm Jay. You can follow me on Twitter at Jaquan625.
All right, folks, we're gonna get right into the first quarter scores and game talk. I'm gonna start with the Bucks beating the Eagles 28-22. I'm still not sold on the Bucks. I still think they're phony, but I guess that's just my opinion. Anybody else share that? No, I didn't think so.
I mean, I'm not saying phony, but dude, it was the Eagles put up a good game.
They did.
If
They
the
almost
Eagles
came back.
actually had some real defense, they probably could have won that game. If Jalen Hurts actually had an offensive line, they probably could have won that game. That dude, he needs an offensive line, please.
Did y'all watch the game?
Yeah.
That game was out of reach in the third quarter. It wasn't close like the score indicates. That's not the Buck. If the Bucks are phony, there's a couple other teams that need to be talked about as phony. As long as you got 12, you got a shot, and we seen that for the last 20 years. As long as you got Brady, y'all got a shot.
I agree with that part. What you think, Sean?
I don't think the Bucks is phony. I don't know. No, I don't think the Bucks is phony.
All right, moving on. Jaguars beat the Dolphins 23-20. They finally got their first win of the year. You think it's going to keep going? You think they're going to do some stuff now?
No. But it was good while it lasted.
I don't know who their next opponent is, but I mean, I'm sure it put some fire under them. But I mean, it was the Dolphins, so.
But you know how some teams they'll pick up momentum and maybe get something going.
It was the Dolphins.
All right. Vikings beat the Panthers 34-28. I thought that was a pretty good game. In overtime. Say it again.
I said they let the Panthers come back in it.
Yeah, the Panthers are. I think they're a team that fight though. They fight everything, and they definitely missed the CMC. But I mean, technically, you should be able to win without one player. But I mean, that's a pretty explosive player we talked about also.
Here's the thing about them. Sam Darnold, he still got jet lag. So I never will trust anything that has to be said. That's a for all the people out there who didn't catch that, that's a double entendre because he used to play for the Jets. It is what it is. I mean, he just never will recover from that. He's been on Spirit Airlines for the first part of his career, and then you're expecting him to come to a stable organization and still be stable. It's just not possible at this stage. He is who he is. I scouted him. He wasn't that dude to me. I thought he had a lot of things that he had to improve on. I still see the same problems. It is what it is. I'm just not a Sam Darnold guy. That's my confession for the day. Shout out to my guy Ursher.
Ravens beat the Chargers 34-6.
Woo woo!
Listen, I thought that the Ravens could beat the Chargers. I was nervous. I won't lie about that. But I didn't think they were going to beat them like that though. Like I thought it was going to be one of those tough, hard-fought games. Somebody might win by 3 or field goal or maybe a touchdown or something like that. I wasn't looking. I didn't expect 34-6. Like I didn't expect that at all.
Jaquan, go ahead.
I'll just say this. At the end of the day, I'm not going to place too much on the game because the Chargers look like they played in San Diego. They ain't look like they played in LA this time. And that's just what it is. I think the Chargers organization, they've notoriously been bad since San Diego. They've had bad luck and a lot of things. I think it was the curse of the Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers decision when they allowed Drew Brees to dislocate his shoulder and then shipped him out and let him walk free and in favor of Phillip Rivers. And they just never got any good luck after that. So now that cloud is passed, this is probably the worst that I've seen them play since they've been in LA. And it was unexcusable to come out flat in a big game like that. Shouts out to the Ravens. They dominated in the trenches, and that's just where the Ravens will dominate, in the trench. That's where they are. Let's stick to those things moving forward and get back to being the number one rushing team, Ravens.
All right, what say ye, Jaquan?
I don't have enough. I don't have nothing to say.
He's a
Wow.
hater. So the
sure.
bottom line is,
I'm
you a
not
hater, yo.
I have nothing
So
to
you
say.
really, really are. You keep saying you're not, but your actions don't line up with that.
How?
The Ravens went out there and smashed the Chargers. Again, like you said, I did not really expect that. I thought it was going to be like a shootout. I thought it was going to come down through those last 2 minutes. Everybody's going to be breathing hard, using their inhalers, trying to get that aspirin in and all that kind of stuff. The Ravens defense came to play. I don't care which version of the Chargers showed up in Baltimore. The Ravens defense came to play, and they came out and they shut down Mike Williams. They shut down Austin Eckler, and they definitely got pressure to Herbert. And I think we fed off of that defense coming out there. I mean, you shut down Mike Williams. Marlon Humphrey was like, no, not today. You weren't doing that to him. And they kept trying to, on that fourth downs, they kept trying to go to Marlon's side. That was just baffling to me anyway. But yeah, the Ravens, Lamar wasn't even trying in that game. If you go and look at it, he was out there all nonchalant, just standing in the pocket. He did get sacked 3 times total, but for the most part, the O-line was holding. He was just standing in the pocket like, la da dee la doo da. Where do I want to throw this ball? And just flicking it all over the place. The defense did what they were supposed to do, so the offense didn't have to work hard. Those literal 3 design plays for the running backs to get into the end zone, all of those worked flawlessly. They walked in. Literally, Le'Veon Bell skipped into the end zone like he was on Yellow Brick Road. He skipped into the end zone. Devontae Freeman ran into the end zone. Latavius Murray, that hole was so big, he literally walked straight through the middle of the line into the end zone. So the Ravens did play lights out. The Chargers have been playing well. They really have been playing well. They were a good team. So that's just the bottom line. The Ravens came to play.
That was impressive that all 3 running backs scored. Rams beat the Giants 38-11. The Colts beat the Texans 31-3. The Chiefs beat Washington football team 31-13. When is the Washington football team defense going to show up this year?
It's really just a defensive line and a bunch of other players. It's not a thing where they have players on that defense that you look at and you power after the defensive line. After Ioannidis, after Allen, after Payne, Chase Young, and Montez Sweat, what else is there? What else do you care about? Nothing. Everybody else can go. If you could just keep them 5 players, you're in the game. And they're what the problem with this team is. Chase is being double and triple teamed. Jonathan Allen's not winning one-on-ones. Deron Payne is not winning one-on-ones. And Montez Sweat is not winning one-on-ones. So if you can't win one-on-ones and Chase is getting double and triple teamed, then that's what you get. That's when you get the things that you get right now. So everybody needs to collectively step up. This is a collection of first-round picks on the defensive line. Washington, at this stage, it is what it is. You still got to get better on everywhere else. On defense, everywhere.
On the flip side of that, are the Chiefs back now? Are they back to normal?
I thought they was gone.
Well, I guess I should ask, what do you mean by back to normal?
back to their dominating ways? The Chiefs' offense being back to their dominating ways. Are they back or?
I gave this prediction earlier in the year, and I said this to a couple people. The Chiefs wouldn't be the same until they figured out the X position. The X position, for ladies and gentlemen, that's the receiver that lines up on the line of scrimmage. If the X receiver is not present in this offense, that means Travis Kelce has to play more X. If Travis Kelce's playing more X receiver, because you don't want Tyreek and these small, fast guys to play the X. So the point of that is, now that you got an X, you can move your smaller, faster guys around and continue to move your offense the way you did last year, like you did with Sammy. That's what Josh is going to be there to do. He's not there to catch a bunch of balls. He's not there for any other reason. He's there to give them an X. The offense should go back to what it was. The defense, though. I don't know who, what, when, where, why. That's what we're going to ask. Who, what, when, where, why, and how? How do we get this bad? Who do we need on defense? What happened to the players that was good? I mean, why are y'all this terrible? Why is Tyrann Mathieu getting paid $20 million as a safety to be a guy that will only impact the game in one way? He will not impact the game as a pass rusher unless he's blitzing. But if you take him out of coverage, that hurts the rest of the defense. You can't take him out of coverage. You can't take him from where he is. So I got too many questions. Frank Clark, $25 million. Time to go. Time to go. $45 million for two players. That's too much. And you giving up you're the worst defense in the league. Bye. Goodbye.
Mahomes still throwing interceptions too.
Yeah.
He continues.
Eight interceptions, but he still leads the league in touchdowns.
Yeah, but he only threw 6 all of last year. Here we are, week 6, and he already threw it.
Well, most of those interceptions definitely wasn't on him. There was a couple of them that was.
Well,
there were Rob receiver should have caught it.
Right, there's a couple
right through Tyreek arm.
Right, but I'm talking about those miracle ones where he's getting sacked and he decides to toss the ball just like he did in the game against Washington, and it gets intercepted. There is no reason for those. Those are on him.
Yeah, he's got to stop that. He has to stop that.
242 attempts, passing attempts. You're going to throw interceptions. That's how I look at it.
No, he does not have to do. I'm talking about those particular types of ones, those quote unquote miracle ones, where he's just used to, as he's going down, just tossing the ball up, and he's used to Kelce catching it. He does not have to throw those types of interceptions. Those are the ones I'm talking about, and he keeps trying to do that exact same play every game, and those balls have been getting intercepted each time this season.
All right, Packers beat the Bears 24-14. And AR out there telling them that he owns them.
I still own you.
Wow, that was.
He does.
He does. There's not really much to say. But you want somebody to say, "Oh no, he doesn't." Aaron Rodgers came. Y'all remember the game that he played literally one half of football and he still beat the Bears? Come on, man. This ain't.
Definitely owns them.
And those fans were upset too. Those Bears fans, they were tweeting all over the place, right? They were upset.
Oh yeah, they were pissed. They were definitely pissed. Bengals beat the Lions 34-11. Bengals a pretty good team now. They're a pretty good team.
I called it back in May.
Cardinals beat the Browns 37-14. Are the Cardinals the best team in the league?
No, but they're a very good one.
Yeah, they definitely a good team.
Who's the best team in the league?
6-0.
It's too early in the season to have a best team. It's too many teams that are teetering.
Right, but based off of where we are now, week 6, what would you say, or who would you say is the best team?
Well, the Cardinals have been in. Go ahead, Jaquan. I'm gonna let you go first there. Go ahead, nephew.
If I had to choose, it would be the Cardinals.
Who's more complete than the Cardinals right now? That would be my question. Who's more complete than the Cardinals?
Not very many teams are more complete. The Bucks are a complete team on both sides of the ball. I think the who else did I say? We're good on both sides of the. I can't even remember who my list was now.
Because you got okay, so you got the Chiefs, Chargers,
Cowboys.
Okay, Chiefs, Chargers, Cowboys. Let's put Green Bay in the mix. Let's say Tampa. Let's throw
I
You
don't know
putting
about
Green Bay in there with their
Green Bay.
defense?
Yeah, Green Bay's defense is
see,
not
but Green Bay has something. Green Bay and Tampa Bay have something that every other team doesn't have. They got 12s. They got 12s. If you got Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, you're going to be where you want to be at the end of the season. Those are the two best quarterbacks arguably in the league. So you're going to be able there's nobody who's going to score with those two teams. I don't care if you think what team you think. If Brady got weapons at his disposal like this, as you see, he cutting the food.
He's still not going back to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, we can make a friendly wager on what team that you think is going to beat them, but it won't be the Rams because the Rams can't beat the Cardinals. Because without us, the Cardinals can play man coverage. That's why they will beat the Rams. You have to play man coverage to beat the Rams. You can't play zone because they got too many good receivers that do this. You're going to play zone? I'm just going to sit right here in this zone just like this.
Right.
And that's what they do. So it's hard to say that, but that's why I say it's hard to say the best team because the Cardinals look the most complete today. But I think the Browns could have done more in that game. I think the Browns didn't run enough in that game.
Absolutely, they didn't run enough.
It's a lot of things that go into the factor of that. So, and we got to also remember the Cardinals have had their struggles at being consistent. That's
my fear. That's my fear.
Consistency.
I talked about that on her podcast earlier. Like I can't put my faith in them yet because I just seen them break down too many times, especially second half of the season.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. I mean, I think they're the most complete team right now. I think you have to talk about teams like the Ravens and put them in the top 10 and top 7 because it is what it is. Their style of football is conducive
top 3
for – they're not top 3 right now. I can name 3 teams better than the Ravens today. And another one is in that division. That's the Rams. But we ain't going to go there. We're going to leave it alone today. The Rams, the Ravens, all those teams, they're good teams. It's just they're jumbled together right now. Everybody's jumbled together. Let's wait until like week 12 and start trying to decipher it.
We're going to revisit this around week 10, 11, or 12.
Because it's hard. It's hard now because remember,
I agree.
We got teams that are injuries, people coming back, people shuffling. Let's just see what's going on. I don't want to be I don't want to be like it's the Cardinals. They're the best team in the NFL. And then 3 weeks from now, I'm like, yo, they 6-3. What's going on? Like, what happened?
Cowboys beat the Patriots 35-29. That's
a classic. That's an instant classic
that
game.
Was a good game.
Yeah, it was. That was one of them games where, well, I feel like nowadays people don't like games like that though. People don't like games where it's hard fought, it's running, it's hitting, it's good defense.
That was a good game.
People don't like those type of games anymore. It seems like they just want everybody to score 50 points now.
So that Trayvon Diggs got that interception. That dude is a beast. But then in the very next play, he got beat over the top. I feel like that was the safety's fault. I feel like the safety came too far up, and that wasn't totally either it was on both of them or it was on the safety's fault. But everybody is like, no, that was Trayvon Diggs. He should have never allowed that to happen. But the safety ran all the way up. But so what do you guys think?
Did.
So it depends on what was called.
It was a double move, I think.
It was a double move.
Diggs fell for the double move. He did get
he did.
He was still in the area, but he did fall for the double move. But the safety came
should
up.
Should have been behind him though.
But the safety came up and jumped up in the air as if he was about to get the interception. He was nowhere near the ball. What was he doing? I don't understand.
I don't know if that was so. In that situation, I would have to go back and look at the play again. This is why I hate that they messed up my film stuff. I don't know if the safety was supposed to be in a robber technique or if the safety was responsible for the deep half. You see what I'm saying? Because if he was responsible for the deep half right there, right? Because if he was responsible for the deep half, that's on both of them. Because first of all, Diggs, you don't got no reason for you to bite that way unless you feel like you have to help over the top.
Exactly.
But I think he thought the guy was there, though. I think he thought the safety was there.
That's why I think he was supposed to have safety over top. That's why he got so aggressive and tried to run in to get the interception because he knew he was protected because he had a safety over the top. But the safety ran all the way up. It was like 5 yards behind the offensive player and jumped up in the air like he was going to catch the ball. I don't even know what he was doing. Like, I have no idea That's because they don't test for weed anymore in the NFL. Uh, Raiders beat the Broncos 34-24.
I expected that.
That's a division game though. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Um,
I think the Broncos are on the losing streak right now.
they got a chance this Thursday. We'll talk about that later though. Steelers beat the Seahawks 23-20.
Man, listen.
I
Man,
feel
listen,
like
this-
that
Okay,
game
wait a
was
minute. Let
this
go
man
ahead and
right
let
here.
Jaquan.
You see this man right here?
Right, because basically the Steelers didn't beat the Seahawks.
Listen.
TJ Watt beat the Seahawks.
Well,
So
he plays for
what?
the Steelers, so listen. The boy nasty. I love him. I'm trying to told you.
Right, but what had happened with that whole game though? I thought y'all were gonna come in there and smash the Seahawks, dude.
I didn't think it
The
was gonna be a
Seahawks-
blowout.
the
It's
Seahawks
very
are a good
Steelers
team.
Like, it's very Steelers like to play down the competition.
But
The Seahawks are a good team because Pete Carroll is the coach. The problem is they just don't have the talent that they used to have. And with no Russ, you just don't expect them to be good. Gino is going to be serviceable. He's just not going to be consistent. That's the key. Like I didn't really expect much.
I
But
mean, if
hey,
Dew had protected the ball, it really could have gone differently if he had protected the ball. I mean,
you can say the
why
same
on
thing
that
about
one
Jamal catching that interception.
well, why on that one play they showed it actually from the ground? TJ Watt was lined up on the outside. Nobody was in front of him. The running back was right here, and when TJ Watt was sitting right there like a big giant like balloon or something like, and the running back decides to run this way instead of coming over here to try to stop. Why did he not try to block TJ Watt? I'm not understanding what that running back was doing right there. He was
Well,
sitting
that's
right
true.
there with nobody in front of him. TJ, you knew that TJ was about to rush. What was the running back supposed to be doing but trying to block TJ Watt?
well,
I ain't mad at him.
that whole situation with the 1 second left and
Yeah,
Well,
that was definitely.
well, first of all, DK Metcalf should have just ran out of bounds, and it would have made it better for his team completely. I don't know why he did not run out of bounds. And then was that Mika that came up and knocked the ball out of his hand?
I think it was James Pierre.
Oh, okay. Knocked the ball out of his hand, then all this turmoil happened. Dude, go out of bounds. At that point, time is more important than yards at that point in the game. Go out of bounds. Save your team some headache. But I still feel like that the Steelers, I just thought that they were going to dominate that Seahawks defense. I thought they were going to be throwing it all over the place, running it all over the place on that Seahawks defense. But either the Seahawks step up or the Steelers play down, one or the other.
But Jay, I haven't seen Tomlin mad like that in a long time.
Ooh, he
that
was
dude
hot.
was.
Listen,
I couldn't understand what he was saying, but I know it was not good. That dude was like throwing out every word on that play.
yeah, he was. He's still mad about it. So it was crazy.
That was crazy. I think he had
It
a
really
reason to be
was.
mad at that point. Titans beat the Bills 34-31.
Wait, let's talk about that game. Was so good, y'all.
It
Well,
was. Why did he just not? Why didn't they just kick the field goal to tie the game instead of going for it on 4th and 1?
I don't think they should have kicked the field goal. I think they should have went for it. The problem was when Josh went to run, his foot gave way. The ground gave way, and his foot just slid all the way back, and he fell. He couldn't.
I gotta
he couldn't
watch
build
that
up any-
again on all 22 or something on the game day pass because I didn't see that.
He definitely slipped, and he couldn't gain any momentum. So
That is called, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to introduce you to karma. That's the reason why he was looking like the Flintstones out there. If you want, yes, the Flintstone. He had Flintstone feet. If you want to put that into something or put that into a place of how to seal the night away, that was karma. You missed 3-4 opportunities to put this game away. You were up 4 points with the ball after you held them to a field goal. And what did you do? You gave the ball away. I
Trying to
don't
be
care.
greedy.
I'm over this thing where these teams do this goofy stuff of passing the ball. You don't run the ball, Bills, you are getting ready to be eliminated from Germ's Super Bowl contenders list because you don't do the right thing, like Spike Lee told y'all back in the day. You don't run the ball.
I said that.
Run the ball, Bert. If you don't run the ball, Bert, I can't help you. If they ran the ball in a total of 10, 15 times, more than what they ran them in the game, there wouldn't have been time for the Titans to come back.
Right.
Let's go, man. Let's stop BSing and let's get to where we gotta go. Because I want to say the real word, but I'm here on the No Pro Football show, and I gotta be upstanding brother. So I'm trying not to curse, but the Bills make me want to curse every time I watch them on offense. If I see Josh Allen throw the ball 50 plus times again, and I don't get at least 20 rushes, I'm gonna scream.
I said the same thing while we were watching the game. We were on Clubhouse, and I was like, dude, they should be running the ball now. They should be running the ball, taking time off the clock. What are y'all doing? You sit up there, you pass 3 times, you turn the ball over on downs. I was like, wait, what? Why did you even do that? So I agree with you wholeheartedly. I literally said that out loud in the Clubhouse. I was like, they should have been running the ball.
Well, they ran the ball 23 times. The problem is 9 of those were Josh Allen. The running backs only ran, well, Singletary had 5, Zach Moss had 8, and McKenzie had 1 attempt.
And then if you're going to throw, stop being greedy. That's when he kept trying to throw the ball all the way down the field and had incomplete passes. You didn't have to do that. Like, just throw the ball, get your first down, and keep on. If you got to dink and duck yourself down the field, that's fine. But on those plays, he tried to throw the ball all the way down the field, had incomplete passes because Titans defense came on and turned the ball back over. Like, it still didn't work.
Well, this is my assessment of it. I don't know if it's Josh Allen or the coaching, but I feel like they're depending too much on Josh Allen. Either way it goes, whether it's him doing it himself, he's smelling himself right now, or whether it's the coaching telling him to do all these things. You're depending too much on him. Let the team do what they were doing. Let Singletary run the ball, get the ball to Diggs, get the ball to Sanders, get the ball out. You don't have to do everything all the time. I think that's what the issue is going to be with them if they continue to go that way.
Can we talk about the Titans now, though? Because everybody want to talk about the Bills, but let's talk about the Titans with their sus defense that actually showed up in that game, because that's why I thought it was going to be a smash, because I'm like, the Titans defense is sus. Their red zone defense during that game was those first 2 times the Bills made it all the way down and had to kick a field goal. That was some good red zone defense, and that is why, in my opinion, I thought they should not have gone for it on the 4th and 1. Based on how things had gone throughout that game with the red zone defense against the Titans, it wasn't working. So just go ahead, kick the field goal, tie it up. I truly believe going into overtime, then he could have went back to those big balls going down to Stephon Diggs, and they could have just gotten it, assuming they won the toss. But if not, I feel like their defense could have held up against the Titans unless King Henry, and maybe that's what they were afraid of. They were afraid of the fact that, if they went into overtime and the Titans won the toss and Henry was just going to run it on them all the way through, maybe that was it. But I felt like based off of the way the Titans have been playing the Bills in that red zone, the way they showed up, I just didn't think that was going to be the best thing. Or at least jump up and try to throw yourself over. But the sneak definitely didn't work. I mean, I got to give the Titans credit. I got to give the Titans credit for that game. And I got to give Henry credit for that game.
So the rule, the hidden rule for football is, or for any sport that is you go for the tie at home and you go for the win on the road.
Oh, really?
That's the hidden rule.
Okay, never even was familiar with that one.
So in that situation, you in Canada. You in Canada.
Not Canada.
You in Canada. What you was doing? Kick the field goal. I understand that you may say, okay, well, King Henry's doing what he's doing. First of all, I just want to say, Derrick Henry, shouts out to you. You have improved certain small assets and things to your game that jump cut that you made, and that nice little pressure step that you put, and that nice little wiggle, and then that other pressure step before you exploded for that long touchdown run, sir, I've never seen you move like that ever. And that right there was impressive. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
I was impressed with that long run. I got to say, first of all, he smoked those DBs going down that field.
He split them. He split them.
Right.
That was sensational. That's running right there. That's how you run the rock. If you're going to run the rock, that's how you do it. That's a tutorial that I will put up for y'all one day on YouTube on how you run the rock with those pressure steps. That was beautiful. But the thing about it is the Bills were getting the short and intermediate first downs the entire game. So if you have Diggs winning in the telephone booth every trip, what's the reason why we're not going to the same plays and working the middle of the field and the outside of the field with some of those short little quick little out routes? You're winning with Diggs all game. Diggs had 7 receptions in the beginning of the third quarter.
And he has the capability to turn a short catch into a long run.
Yes. So why not get the like it?
All right. So moving on to the second. Well, this is going to take second and third quarter. So I'm pretty sure all of you are aware of the John Gruden thing, him resigning because of the email. I wanted to go a little bit deeper into that because there's certain things about that whole situation that are so super fishy. It's crazy. So after the whole John Gruden thing, the attorneys for the 40 former Washington football team employees wanted the NFL to fully disclose all the rest of that hear me when I say this is not a typo, all of the rest of the 650,000 plus emails that they had. 650,000 plus emails, over 500,000 emails. Wow. The problem with that is, well, first of all, the spokesperson for the NFL, his name is Brian McCarthy, said that there's going to be no further investigation details released. So that means you're probably not going to see the email. The other issue I have with this is Jeff Pash is the attorney for the NFL, who was a part of the investigation of the Washington football team, who also is really good friends
with who?
With Allen, which was the executive at the time of the Washington football team, and the one in part of the two that are catching all the heat for this, or this was supposed to be catching heat for this investigation. They're best friends. So Pash already told him that there's not going to be any harshness coming his way. But I want to talk about those emails. So first of all, do you think that the emails will ever be released? And is there a way to force them to release them? My opinion is we'll never see those emails, because those emails are from a bunch of owners and executives in the NFL who probably feel the same way that John Gruden does, who says the same things or maybe even worse that John Gruden has said in those emails. And they're going to be covered up. They're probably going to be destroyed some kind of way. Something's going to happen to them where we probably will never see them, because too many people will be in trouble. Too many people will be in trouble. And we already know how this league is ran. They have to give teams, what is it called, the Grooney rule, or I forgot what the name of it was, where they have to at least give an interview to
the Rooney
rule. Yeah, they have to give interviews to people of color for consideration for being hired as coaches and executives and so forth. Why do you have to give incentives for NFL teams to interview people of color for jobs that a lot of them are absolutely qualified for? I really don't get that. So even with that, without even seeing the emails, you already know that what's really going on and how things are just not going to happen. Secondly, the fact that we don't have any people of color or black owners in the league, because if an owner is ousted some kind of way or leaves, the other owners have to vote on the new owner coming in. And you know that good old boy crew is not going to allow a black person in it. And there might be an opening coming up for an owner. So I want to see how it's going to go, but I can't see it going that way. But anybody else want to share their thoughts?
So this is the song I heard in my mind. I'm not sure if you guys are going to pick it up when you were reading the part about the email. But do y'all know that song that goes it's like some nature kind of I think we need to overdub that song in there. It's like this nature kind of sound. And the reason why I heard that sound is I think it is an example of what we call cherry picking, ladies and gentlemen. We are cherry picking what we're going to show out of those emails and what we're not. We know for a fact, the fact that they came out and said, oh, no, you're okay, bud. Nothing else is going to happen. It's okay. We know that there is a lot of stuff in those emails which would point a finger at and indict Goodell, like you said, a whole bunch of other owners. I mean, people would get burned just by association. Who was John Gruden actually communicating with? And why would you be sending an email saying such things to some person who you know is not on the same page as you? So who was it? The person that he was sending the emails to? They were obviously on the same page as he was. And then all the other people that were surrounded in those emails. So the fact is, we got a grand example of cover up right now. And why I guess they had to sacrifice somebody. I'm not sure what happened, the reason why that turned out to be Gruden, but I guess somebody had to go down. Somebody had to be the sacrificial lamb for the stuff that was in his emails. But obviously, the dude was being sacrificed. There are obviously incriminating and damning information in there for so many other of the executives and owners and stuff in the NFL, and probably, I'm pretty sure, for Goodell too. And so they're just trying to make sure and connect and protect themselves. I think it's a doggone shame that this is going on. There has been issues within the NFL. You know, all of us, we love football. I love football. But by the same token, there is that other side, that ugly side of football that just kind of pains you. And it is the reason why a few years ago, yes, I was on that boycott train for that year, because I just got sick and tired of some of these things going down, and it's continuing to happen. And it seems like the things that they do come out and quote unquote do is just a safe face. It's safe face kind of things. It's not something that's actually making changes. And so you're right. That Washington football team, I'm pretty sure, is going to be taken from him. I really do think it's going to be taken from him. That's why they let him go ahead and become the majority stake owner, so they can go ahead and take it from him. But please, if someone who, and I don't mean just a person of color, I want a black person to be put in that position, not just a person of color. We got a person of color already. I want a black person to become the owner of that team or whatever team in the NFL. It is like past time for this to happen. And we know that they have tried before, but we know they also have their rules and bylaws that says, well, we get to choose who it is, and we say stamp reject. So I do not think the rest of that stuff is going to come out, sadly. I'm curious to see what happens with the end result with the investigation with the Washington football team. I mean, how juvenile are you? This is the John Gruden part, but who else was watching the emails? You're sending around pictures of topless cheerleaders. This is what 14-year-olds. I mean, I know men are men; they all like breasts, but dude, I'm just like, this is so juvenile. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just lost. And so not only do things need to be addressed in the Washington football team, but any other team. I mean, the whole thing with Kraft, with him at the beauty parlor, at the massage parlors down in Florida, that just up and disappeared. Literally, it up and disappeared. And we didn't hear anything else about that. So, but where else do we have a situation about a massage parlor? But the situation with Kraft just up and disappeared. So there's still just a lot of questions. I don't think we'll be getting any satisfactory answers. I feel like the things that they do are just all safe face, not to actually get to the root of the problem. And I think each and every day you just have to decide that you're going to kind of ignore those things and still go along with football. I feel like that's kind of what you have to do, really, because there are a lot of problems, none of which, or the least of which, rather, is the one that I still will be doing the podcast on, which is about the fact that the black football players who are getting some of the monies from the CTE cases, that who are still alive, that it was determined that they get less money than their white counterparts because it was determined they were starting from a lower cognitive level than their white counterparts. So therefore they didn't lose as much. So the white counterparts got paid more because the black counterparts were starting from a different level cognitively than their white counterparts. Like, this is 2021 and this is literally going on in the NFL.
Or anybody else, Jared? Jafar?
Quan, you got anything to say?
I definitely agree with what she said and what Bobby said. Like, most definitely. So I don't have anything to add to it.
I'm gonna say so. I'm gonna add some things to this. The first component I want to add to this is, in order for you to buy an NFL franchise, do you know what kind of liquid assets that you have to have?
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people of our color don't have those resources.
That's not true, bro.
Oh, that's not true. There are
not true,
people-
bro.
Okay, so why is it taking 6 black people in order for them to put it together, a minority group, in order to purchase the Carolina Panthers? Why is it taking Diddy, Steph Curry, and all these other people? Because there's a certain amount of liquid assets that you have to have. You can't come and say, oh, well, I got $100 million. That's not enough money. The average team in the NFL right now costs at least $2.5 billion. So that means you need to have at least $5 billion in liquid assets that you can put together for you to have that.
Right. So just because it may not be, there are billionaire black people around whose names you don't see in the paper necessarily, and who may not be an athlete, a musician, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There are black people who have access to that liquidity, those kind of resources. So I don't believe that for 1 minute that they don't have it or cannot get it.
Also, I believe that whoever is going to buy a football team is going to have to be a group. I don't think there's going, unless you're going to have like Bill Gates or the owner of Amazon or one of those guys out here trying to buy a football team. It's going to have to be groups no matter who it is.
It's going to have to be groups because we're going to have to put together more assets, put together a bunch of people with assets. Mm-hmm. The point here is we don't have a group of 5 people that have the liquid assets to be able to take ownership of an NFL franchise. We would have to take about 10 people right now. Let's just say 10 people who are the richest black people in the world. Does that mean that they have $1 billion on hand? No. That means that's what they're worth. That's their worth. Net worth and all that other stuff is totally different than what they have in actual assets to use to pay for something. Because if they had it, then it should and shall already be done in some of these situations. If that is the case, we do not have the ownership power or the liquidity power for us to have it. And that has been the key selling point for a lot of these different things. Do I think it's possible for us to get it? Absolutely. But the first thing is we have to come together first and get one out the way. We have to come together first and get one out the way.
So you think that, are you saying that if a group of black people came together with the funds to be able to buy an NFL team, that the other 31 teams would vote for them to be able to do it?
I don't know. Can't say I say that they would or they wouldn't. But here's what I am saying. What we have to do at this stage in the game is put pressure on other races to let us to get us to the table. And if we come together and we put the pressure, that's going to be the thing, because something like that will get out. Mm-hmm. Something like that will get out immediately. And that will be something there in itself that will cause a trickle-down effect that will cause people of our color to see that we're not allowed to sit at the table but we're allowed to entertain. And that will cause people like us and I'm talking about us here, right here on the show, we would then look at the product different, because I don't think I will watch the product then. Because if my money isn't respected, if our money isn't respected enough for us to sit at the big boy table, then we don't need to sit at the small table either. Y'all can have the whole table. We will bow out. Y'all like the spinners? Bow out gracefully.
Well, I think the biggest thing that would hurt them is first of all the fact that 70% of NFL players are black players.
Absolutely.
So even if you got half of them to make some kind of stand, either I don't know what kind of stand it would be. I'm definitely not an expert at that, but I don't know if it would be a boycott or whatever, a strike or whatever the case may be. If you got at least half of them, especially if you got all of them, that's going to make some changes, because without them, there is no product.
And that is the key thing right there. I want us to come together to make the attempt so you can expose yourself. I want full exposure. I don't want no excuses, no exceptions, no nothing. I want to put it in your face so you can see it. Because everybody got this thing where they try to be skeptical. I don't trust nobody in that essence. I want you to expose yourself. I want to see it real deal Holyfield. So here's the 8 people. Here's my investment group. Here's the $5 billion in liquid assets. What's up?
And they're gonna have to be loud about it too. Everybody's gonna have to know that that's what they're doing.
And this is why you need the names, like some of the names that you have. Do you think see, people hated Jay-Z for some of the stuff that he's done, but Jay-Z is slowly trying to position himself to be in a situation to make that type of influence and that type of change. Right. And I'm saying all of that to say, and the thing is, I respect everything y'all saying. I just want us to put the pressure on. I want pressure. Apply pressure. Pressure is not an overrated thing. When you apply the pressure, somebody eventually it's either gonna make a diamond or burst a pipe. And at the end of the day, it's a lot of pipes that's out here blowing around, and it's a lot of stuff being said. I want to make the diamond or burst the pipe. That's where I'm at with it. I'm sick of the cliche things and all of we gotta just do it now, because I'm over the racial inequality aspect of things and how one great group of people is looked at different than this group of people, how this group of people has this to claim to fame, this group of people has this claim to fame, and then we come back to ourselves and then we don't have the same thing. But we created and invented all of the stuff that society wants, all the stuff that society uses. Doesn't make sense to me. Yep. At some force, we pimping backwards. I don't like it.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, except for the part of not having the money. I do not believe that we have not had people who have tried to get, because they've tried to do it in the past, and that they were denied because they did not have the funds. I do not believe that. You're not going to convince me otherwise, that we do not have people that have tried to do it that has had the money. But like you said, us knowing about it, well, I do know of a case some time ago, a while ago, where a dude tried to do it and he was turned down. But like I was like, let me just Google and see who are our black billionaires currently. So this went through all the years, but like right now for this year, for 2021, we got Robert Smith. I'm sure you guys heard about him. Robert Smith. We got David Stewart. We got Oprah Winfrey. We got Kanye West. We got Michael Jordan. We got Jay-Z. We got Tyler Perry. We got Alex Karp. All of these people are multi-billionaires, not just a billionaire, but multi-billionaires. And I do think that there are other people who they're halfway to billionaires or whatever. You have majority, you have minority. I do not believe that the money is the reason why we have not been at the table. Period. Point blank. They do not want us at the table. But and the rest of the stuff, I agree with you on about applying pressure and doing what we need to do for something to happen. Yes, I agree with all of that. But I do not think we can say it's because we don't have the money. I do not believe that at all. Not at all.
All right, folks. We got to move on to the next thing now. This is fourth quarter. Baker Mayfield's wife, I don't know who's heard this or not. His wife sent a tweet out to Browns fans. This is what she said. For all you fans who care, who all you fans who are blaming yesterday's loss on Baker, wake up. It was a hell of a game, and the game could have gone either way. He left it all on the field. She continued, you truly don't know what you have. I have watched him give his all and change the entire culture in Cleveland. Let me repeat that.
I'm sorry, wait.
The entire culture in Cleveland. She talked about Baker Mayfield. One more time. Change the entire culture in Cleveland. Yet he gets so little credit for it. He never asked for recognition and continues to carry the weight day in and day out.
Oh my God.
Fight the hate. This was the tweet from Baker Mayfield's wife to
She was
NFL
high when
fans.
she typed that. She was high.
No, you can't say that.
It's a
She was
couple
taking
things I
up for
wanna-
her man.
There's a couple things I want. First of all, let me just before I even ask this question, Baker Mayfield, I think, is a good guy, good quarterback, whatever. He didn't change the culture in Cleveland.
He
But
definitely did not.
my question: how do you feel about a player's wife doing something like this? Like, do you agree that it's okay? Is it not okay? And also, do you agree with what she said? We'll start with Jay this time.
Oh, well, I mean, a lot of wives and mothers tend to comment on games and their quarterbacks, players like that. It's your opinion. You can voice whatever you want to do. Do your thing. Do I agree with what she said? Absolutely not. I don't see how she thought that he changed the culture for the Browns. Maybe she need to, I don't know, look up maybe what the front office did to help the Browns change the culture. Maybe by signing the players and getting who they needed on defense and offensive line and stuff like that to make the change in the culture. So I don't know where she's getting that from, but she's entitled to her opinion. So I think it's okay.
Now, I do agree with the part about her leaving it all on the field. I do believe he does that. But what do you say, Jerry?
2016, the Browns drafted 6 receivers and 6 linebackers and a safety. 2017, they drafted Myles Garrett, number 1 overall, and then had a chance to draft Deshaun Watson, but chose to trade back and drafted Jabril Peppers and later on David Njoku. 2018, Baker Mayfield was taken number 1 overall, and the 4th pick overall was Denzel Ward. What does all of that mean? Do you get the 1st overall pick in 2 straight drafts without changing a culture to begin with? The answer is no, you don't. Because for about a good 10-year stretch, all the Browns did was just recycle players. All they did was recycle players. They didn't that culture change didn't start until 16 when they started and they traded back in that Philadelphia trade when they could have just drafted Carson Wentz. So would Carson Wentz get the same nod as Baker Mayfield is getting based on what his wife is saying? The answer probably would be no. The person who changed the organization around, believe it or not, it's not one person, it's a variety of people who are still not in that building. People like Hugh Jackson, who endured a 1-31 type of a setting, who sat there and wanted some of these prime time quarterback prospects that didn't get them. Those are guys who changed the culture, not Baker Mayfield. Because if Hugh Jackson walked, crawled, crip walked, whatever you want to call it, so Baker Mayfield can do his little funky dance now. So let's make sure we're here with that. The next part of this is she's entitled to her opinion. Nobody is attacking Baker as a man. They're attacking his play on the field. His play on the field has been subpar. You end the Chiefs with a terrible interception. You leave a lot of things on the field every week. And then you walk around after the fact and then you act as if you lost the game because of some unforeseen thing. You got your ass kicked. You got your ass whooped. 37-14 is an ass kicking. That's what that is. So what happened in that game What did Baker do to get them to be in a position to win that game? He did absolutely nothing to help them win that game. You're going to tell me that he did something to win that game. He did absolutely nothing. So I don't want to hear about all of that extracurricular. You score 14 points at home against a team who you had chances to score against. I rest my case after that.
Great, Jesus.
I want to go look at so first off, she does have, that's her husband. She knows what he goes through and all that kind of stuff when he gets home and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from that. That's her husband. She hurts, and she says that man leaves it all on the field, and I'm going to agree with her on that. So she's just hurting. That's it. So I'm not going to say anything against that. And at least what she said was not rude and nasty. Like, I remember comments that Edelman's wife made, especially those Patriots players. Edelman's wife made, she definitely jumps out, and it's a few others. They've really put out some nasty things that I didn't think were cool or appropriate. So at least what she said wasn't nasty and rude and name calling and had racial overtones and things like that, stuff that we have seen in the past, particularly against the Ravens, and other things. So I don't have anything negative to say about her going to bat for her man, because nobody sees, you know, what he goes through at home but her. But whether he's responsible, I'm not going to say he did not play a role. I'm sure he did play a role in changing the culture of the Browns. I think they were hopeful. You named, Germ, all the people that got drafted, and then Mayfield came along, and the Browns fans, they were hopeful that something was going to turn around. It didn't turn around the first year. It didn't turn around the second year. It didn't turn, like, on paper, the Browns have been a championship team on paper for like the last 3 or 4 years, y'all, on paper. But it wasn't showing up IRL. It wasn't showing up in real life. Finally, last year, some things started to come together, and they actually made it into the playoffs, and they look good. Is he at fault for some of those losses? I would say for sure. But I think you can't lay them all on his blame, like lay all the blame on him. Like, for instance, that game against the Chargers, they scored 42 points in that game and lost the game. Most any team that's scoring 42 points, you would think won the game. But in that particular game, they scored 42 points and still lost the game. I think he had something like, I was trying to find the stats, like 400 and something yards passing, and all that kind of stuff. But yet they still lost the games. Like, I think it's games like that probably literally takes the air out of Mayfield to score 42 points and still lose. So yeah, they lost against the Chiefs 29-33. Now, we know statistically 29 points wasn't going to make it. You got to score 30-something points to even be in contention for beating the Chiefs even now. The same thing the Ravens had to do. Like, you need to score 30-something points. So 29 points wasn't going to be enough. But I just think that some of these games, definitely you can lay it to the Charger Mayfield. He did, throw that interception at the last minute. He actually pulled what I'm going to be fondly calling a Mahomes now, because you're getting sacked, and instead of just holding on to the ball and going down, taking a sack, you go throwing it off into Never Never Land, and it got intercepted. So I'm calling that the Mahomes now, because Mahomes has continued to do that each and every game, and is not working out for him anymore like it did previously. So he pulled the Mahomes, it backfired, and they won the game. So again, my thoughts on it, that's his wife. She's going to go to bat for her man. At least she wasn't rude or nasty. I think he did contribute to the culture, to changing the culture, and the Browns fans just having hope and believing that they're going to get some things going. I think, and your quarterback tends to be your leader of a football team. In most cases, the quarterback is the leader. The dude, he's very vocal. He's very boisterous. To me, in the beginning, he was very arrogant and didn't have anything with which, to really base that on, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. When he first got there, he was just very, very arrogant. and jumped into the league like I'm here, like I've already won playoffs games, I've already been to the Super Bowl and all that, and you literally had done nothing. But they still got behind that energy. They still got behind what that assumed confidence. So I'm not going to say that he was not a significant influence on the culture of the fans, but yeah, he definitely played a role in that. And then thirdly, I think the Browns have played really hard on certain days and still come up short. And it's like, wow, you score 42 points, throw for 400 and something yards, and in most games you absolutely came away the winner. But in certain games they did it. It happened with the Ravens last year. That dude, when the game was over, because Superman came out after y'all called the bathroom run that we know was not a bathroom run. He came out, got that touchdown. We still went back and forth. We ended it. We won the game. And the dude literally, I will never forget this. He knelt down on the grass and literally you could see his face was saying, what do I have to do to win? You can see it on his face. He's just like, there is nothing. I think he was just like, there is literally nothing else I can do. That we volleyed back and forth, and the Ravens still came out on top. So I have nothing bad to say about her. I think family members, they get frustrated. They're going to vent. I'm great. Shut up, Germ.
No, I ain't looking like that. I got a lot of rebuttal.
Family members, they get frustrated and they're going to, say what they're going to say. I can understand that, but kind of it is what it is. Go ahead, do your rebuttal.
Real quick.
Look, so here's the thing. Baker is a part of the reason why the Browns lose, because he's not good with, first of all, turnovers. Mm-hmm. His turnovers are terrible. In that Ravens game, you remember that throw he made to Tyrus Bowser, the one he made to Tyrus Bowser?
Tyrus Bowser, yeah.
That's the reason why you start a comeback train to begin with, because you had no business making that throw. Then to go to the next game, he threw for 305 against the Chargers. In that game, though, remember on those fourth downs that the Browns have been going for all year? All those fourth downs, there's been an open player. Every fourth down, there's an open player, and you get sacked. And you're going to tell me that's the offensive line. Odell literally sat down and said, Baker, I'm here. I'm here. And in that instance, Baker acted like he was going to throw it and then turned around and tried to run and got sacked. You ain't no primetime athlete. You're not Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. You ain't none of them. Stop trying to be Houdini. The freaks only come out at night, and that's only in the Houdini song. It surely ain't in Cleveland when you playing quarterback, Chief. I'm going to need for you to slow it down. So Baker is a part of Cleveland being better, but the culture changed when they stopped taking mediocre talent and trying to make it into something it wasn't. I'm not against him, but he has to play better. And he hasn't played well this season. Period. So she can defend him all she wants. But that all 22 view in the sky says, I've watched Baker miss touchdowns and first downs, and that is why the Browns are 3-3. Period.
Well, I agree with her with the hope. I'll just say that because nobody thought the Browns were anything until Baker came along. So moving on.
I didn't think there was anything when Baker came about, so the hell is true.
Baker didn't change anything. The roster got better.
Yeah,
the roster got better.
We're not in Ohio either, you guys. So
right.
I mean, I am, and I can tell you now.
Oh, you are in Ohio?
Yeah.
Okay, let me moonwalk that back. Let me moonwalk that back.
Nobody. I can tell y'all some stories.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going back. Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, I can tell y'all some stories just from being here in Ohio.
Uh-huh.
Baker, trust me. The person who was the downfall or the fall guy was Hugh Jackson. That's all I'm going to say.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And Baker was a part of talking negative about Hugh Jackson after the fact.
I remember that.
So how you a part of a culture change and you talking bad about the head coach that crawls so your ass can even walk.
Yeah, I didn't like that, how he disrespected Hugh Jackson. I didn't like that.
That's all I'm saying, y'all. I ain't got no dog in the fight.
First of all, you should have just did all the talking and the rest of us should have been quiet if you in Ohio.
Nah.
You got us out here speculating. No, I still
No.
say what I said, but still, but
No, I,
yeah.
I
All right.
respect all of that. So look, I'm here for it. I'm just wanting to let y'all know that Hugh Jackson needs some respect. But
All right, moving on. Moving on. So we got two more quick things to do before we're out of here. First of all, I want y'all to go to next week's game so you'll be able to do the last part. But this first part is going to be the gangster wankster. Who's the gangster? Who's the wankster? This time we're going to start with Regina. Regina, who's your gangster?
Oh, let me. Wait a minute. This is hard. I got two gangsters.
Just give us one, because somebody else might have the same one. So just give us
No,
one.
I want to say both.
You can't.
Okay, I'm gonna say my gangster this week. Then I'm not gonna be a homer. I'm gonna say my gangster this week is Henry. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to Henry.
Okay. He earned it. What about you, Jared? We already know
my gangster this week is Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, my man. All right, Jaquan, who's your gangster?
You already know.
All right, that's what I figured. All right,
I mean.
yeah, he earned it. Listen, y'all have stole all my gangsters. So let me see. I guess I'm gonna have to go with
You want me to pick a different gangster so you can roll with the gangster you want? I got plenty of gangsters this week. I'm gonna tell you another gangster. Here, I'll give you a gang. You can have Trayvon. Here's my other gangster. My other gangster this week is Kyler Murray. My guy Kyler Murray.
But he could be
Why he's a gangster? Let me tell you something. 5'8", he throws the ball better than some of these cats that's 6'4".
That's true.
He ain't no joke, man. He ain't no joke, man. You like Rakim? You like Eric B?
Absolutely.
There you go. He ain't no joke.
Listen, he could be a gangster every week though. Like Kyler Murray, you could say that every week. That's my gangster. All right, let's go to the wanksters. Who's your wankster, Javon?
You can have a wankster. Jeez, I didn't think that far. I'll come back to me.
All right, Jared, who's your wankster?
Baker Mayfield, because you had your wife stand up for you.
Wow. All right, Gina, who's your wankster?
My wankster for sure is DK Metcalf for doing the thing that he did and not going out of bounds, and for saying that stupid stuff to Unc. Like, dude, you were out of bounds on both. No, you were not out of bounds on the play. You should have been, but you were out of bounds talking to Unc like that.
All right, Jaquan, who's your wankster?
That was fast. Y'all should have been thinking.
You not ready?
I'm gonna go with the Giants. Period.
Wow, just the whole team.
The whole team.
That's cool. Well, since we didn't do this last week, my wankster is Bart Scott. Bart Scott, be a grown man. Be a grown man, dude. You an ex-Raven, and you will come hard on a Raven like that for joking, for saying a joke, and you got offended by it. You got triggered. Come on, man. Grow up. Grow up for real. All right, did you guys fill out the games for next week? Now it's time for the Blitz pick. So last week, Jaquan picked the Rams. They won. Regina picked
undefeated.
Regina beat the Colts. They won. I picked the Raiders. They won. We didn't have a guest last week, so right now,
y'all was surprised I went with the Colts too. I knew what I was doing.
So right now, Jaquan is 3-0 for the season. Regina is 2-1, and so am I. And this week, Jeremy gonna get a guest. Oh, so by the way, that last guest he made a couple of weeks ago, he picked the Jets. They lost, so he's actually 0-1 right now.
Okay, that's cool.
No, you got all the guest scores is all the guests. So, we ain't having a guest last week?
Right.
Okay.
All right, so Jaquan went first last time, so Gina, it's your turn to go first. Who's your pick for this week?
All right, I'm looking at the list right now.
I'm about to make my pick.
I'm going to go with...
Wait a minute, take your time. Let me get my pen.
I'm going to go with... Man, it's looking kind of...
Mm-hmm.
It's looking kind of weird this week, y'all. Kind of weird. All right, I'm gonna do this easy. Wait a minute. You got to tell us what teams we've picked already.
So you've already picked the. I'll tell you as your turn comes. You've already picked the Saints, Chargers, and Colts.
The Saints, Chargers, and Colts. Okay. So I'm gonna go for an easy one, so I ain't gotta sweat it. I'm gonna go with the Rams,
Okay. Who are they playing?
the Lions.
But the Lions do one. I don't know. They are definitely due a win, I guess.
It ain't gonna be this week. I doubt it.
All right, Jerm, you can go next. Who's your pick?
I'm picking the Bengals.
Ooh. He opening with violence. You will not be on this No Pro Football show anymore, Germ. No more.
I'm the head of the table.
Are
I'm the head of the table.
Are you an actual Bengals fan though?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually I'm picking the Bengals this week for two reasons. This is the week that we get to see a team play the Ravens and actually be able to put up some points. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be one of those situations where it come down to that late field goal. Y'all know it's been that type of year. That late field goal to knock off a team after a good game. I think we'll get a good ass game.
I don't even bet, but I feel some angrosity right now. Like I feel like we should put some money on it, and I don't even bet. But I feel like you done brought some.
I mean, my Cash App is always free to get blessed. I'm just saying.
Some sin up in me. I'm like, I feel like we need to put some money on that because you just came all wrong. All wrong.
All right, I'll go next. I'm going to pick I'm going to take the Cardinals. And so far, I picked the Titans, Patriots, Raiders, and now the Cardinals.
Why would you do that?
Huh? What you mean?
They trying to pick the easy teams. See, they picking the easy. They picking the easy
and
teams.
See, that's why I'm not doing that. That's why I did like the Colts, and so now I'm trying to save some of those easy picks for down the road.
But the Cardinals will fall off later on.
I got strategy. Y'all ain't got it.
All right, Jaquan.
Who the teams already picked? Who the teams already picked?
So far, the Rams, Cardinals, and Bengals. We're gonna be left. Jerry, you come on next week too.
I'm gonna try my best because I got to.
You need to come up here and get burned. You need to come up here and get burned.
I gotta come through and see this through, big fella.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna pick the Packers over the Washington football team.
Okay.
Easy pick.
Well, we never know. We never know with the Packers.
Right. Because that defense sometimes be like.
Are y'all serious? From the Mr. He number 12. Come on, Germ.
Listen, you never know because Aaron ain't Tom. Tom take every game serious. Aaron,
you just said over there and gave us a whole entire breakdown about the Washington football team defense.
Aaron be like this. Hold my beer. Aaron be on that hold my beer energy, and you know I ain't lying.
Aaron having fun this year. That's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. He is enjoying himself this year.
Looking like he got on a little ponytail and stuff in the back.
He do.
Cut his hair. I ain't taking Aaron Rodgers serious until he cut his hair.
Him and Tom Brady, they are literally just hanging out, having the best times of their lives.
I think both of them are right now. I'm just curious where Aaron's gonna go next year, but that's a whole nother
show. As long as he don't come to the AFC North, and as long as Deshaun does not come to the AFC North.
Aww.
No, he is not coming to the Steelers, yo.
Aww.
Stop drawing on your chest.
No, I actually think he's going to Denver. Aaron, I think Aaron's going to Denver.
Aaron gonna end up in Denver, but I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson 4. He could be coming to a place near you. I don't know if he rubbing on himself or caressing his body or what he doing.
I know.
Whatever.
I've heard a lot of stuff about people wanting Deshaun to go to the Browns. So I don't know.
The Browns?
Yeah,
trade
Baker to the Texans for.
Yep.
That is scary. That is scary.
I don't want no smoke. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want smoke.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
That team the Browns already.
I'm just saying, y'all saying it like Baker that dude out there, but you put Deshaun with this team.
Ain't none of us saying Baker is that.
dude. I can honestly say if you put Deshaun with that team, that is a problem. That is a problem.
And with Burrow,
First of all,
and with Lamar and with this will be a bloodbath in the
I,
AFC North.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I love Lamar. Lamar is great. He's the best quarterback in this division right now. But if he comes to Cleveland, it's going to be about who's going to be in second place trying to be the wild card. If Deshaun Watson comes to Cleveland, that's what it's going to be about in this division.
So you want Lamar over Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's okay. Listen. We are actually. I'm actually going to set up some shows where we're going to talk about this whole divisional quarterback situation. It might be next week, so hang around. So come back. We're going to talk about that.
AFC North. It has been a tough division for so long.
Please bring me in for all. I'm here for all talks about all football.
Yeah, you got people hanging out in the NFC East doing nothing, getting 7-9 and going to playoffs and crap. And
that's what I'm saying.
You got to be over here in our division doing 12-and to get to the playoffs.
I'm going to start my division next week. We're probably going to start over the West, though, but we're going to start our divisional talk next week. But anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting, which I know you all are. Again, it is the No Pro Football Show on YouTube, and my Twitter is NP Football Show. All right. This is Regina next to me. Go ahead and give me this.
Gina. Gina.
I'm sorry. All right, Gina.
From She Talks Football. Catch me on the Undroppables platform, at the Undroppables on Twitter, the Undroppables on YouTube, She Talks Football on YouTube. For my video, and then for the audio, Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, and a few others. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at She Talks Football. That is one L. That is not a misspelling. It is only one L, at She Talks Football.
Sure.
The Scene, THESCEN. Basically, just follow us. That is The Scene on YouTube. That is SCEN, all capital letters on Facebook. Scene_the on Twitter. The.scene on Instagram. Make sure you follow. Check us out. 94 Feet of Life. Views from the 22. Stoppage Time FC. The Dish. Make sure you check out all of the great shows that we got going on for you. Hey, man. Appreciate you guys for letting me on, of course. And that's all I got to say for this one.
And you're wrong about the Bengals.
And I'm Jay. You can follow me on Twitter at JQuan625.
All right, folks. Be safe out there in these streets. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.